Guess what? I came all the way from my country without using any motorized transport. So no planes, no trains, no motorbikes, no cars.
There's a rhino right there. I'm sleeping right there.
So I woke up to the sound of something munching on grass. You know, munch, 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 munch. And then I heard a and from the night before, I had asked a guide about the sound of something that had woken me up in the night. He had described it as a spotted deer, and then he had gone through all the different animal noises, and that was the sound of a rhinoceros. And so I got a little bit excited. I mean, it was still dark out, a little bit of light in the sky, but pretty much dark and very foggy. And so I climbed out of my little hut that was sort of on the outskirts of this little property, the Evergreen Eco Lodge. Climbed down the stairs of what was my little house was actually on top of an old ox cart, like what the oxes pull behind them. It's a little cart. And I climbed down and I could still hear the munching, but I couldn't quite see it. Except I could see this giant thing of big gray, almost looked like a big water container or something. That was like where the sound was coming from. I could just sort of see it through the mist, maybe 10 meters away. So I got my camera and I went over there. And sure enough, it was the rhino. As soon as I got over there, I think I sort of disturbed him a bit. Or it was just, he knew it was time to move on because it was starting to get light out. And he got up and he started walking down the alleyway. So I followed him at a pretty safe distance and watched him interact with some other people. A bike started biking towards him and then he turned away. And then he turned onto the main street. I followed him down the main street. There was trucks coming by, bikes coming by. Not a lot, but a few. The sun was just starting to rise. It was still just that dawn hour, I guess. And the working elephants were starting to come onto the street. And I saw him interact with two different working elephants, where the elephant would come close to the street and he'd just turn and face him and they'd just stare at each other. There was a guy on top of the elephant telling him what to do, I guess, and then the rhinoceros, nobody on top of the rhinoceros, but the rhinoceros was just sort of, you could tell he was sensing, okay, wait, is this elephant a threat? What am I supposed to do? Do I need to protect myself? I mean, usually I think an elephant would win in the battle between an elephant and a rhinoceros, although the rhinoceros has no natural predator. If an elephant had to defend itself, it would hurt a rhinoceros pretty bad, more than a rhinoceros would hurt the elephant, most likely. So eventually that rhinoceros backed up, went into a different property. And he quickly discovered that he was sort of cornered in this property. while he was there, he decided to take a leak, and it was literally like a hose coming out of his butt, like just so much force. He was right beside a motorbike, which, I don't know, made a really interesting image. And then he came back onto the main street for a little bit. Turned into a hotel, which was right there, which happened to be the Rhino Lodge. And he went in there and was sort of eating around their garden. And at one point, like 10, a bunch of like old senior citizens and stuff came and like formed a circle around him pretty much, and were just taking shots way too close, like within 10 feet. And I was just like wondering if they're gonna get nailed or just trampled by this rhinoceros if he got pissed off, because they basically cornered him in. He didn't really have much room to escape. And I was like, hey guys, like maybe give him some space. And then finally, like one of the locals like shouted at them and was like, get out, get back, move away, give him room. And then most of them just left, because they probably had to go on tours into the jungle to go and try and find rhinos.
What is that?
That is a crazy sounding bug or bird, whatever that was. But they all left, and then it was basically just me and one other guy for a bit, and then it was just me and this rhino in the like back sort of green grounds of this resort. There's a lot of grass there, just short grass, but he was loving it. He was just eating it up. I probably had about 20 minutes to half an hour by myself just hanging out with him, filming him a lot, of course.
town.
Yeah, and then eventually I said goodbye. But yeah, super cool. Alright, just made it to Ratnanagar here, and I'm on my way to meet Tanya, who's from Tofino, who just happens to be at a park warden conference here, just a few kilometers off the main road. Still got a sore throat, still super polluted, but it's all good. Stoked. Sauraha, like when I arrived, I met Tanya, and literally like a few minutes later I was down staring at a rhino in the river. Such an interesting place where the rhinos will walk through town as well as elephants. The elephants are the real danger because they tend to kill people on average once a year. There's this one elephant called Ronaldo, who's just known for causing havoc and destruction in the town and in people's lives. The rhinos are sort of accustomed and they don't usually charge people. I don't know that a rhino has killed anybody in town, but it's just a matter of time because people just don't really respect his space when he's in town. You do hear people hitting him. Pretty crazy. Sorry, they have bamboo sticks?
Yeah, for tigers or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But you might have to climb a tree, so there's like, okay, if we see rhinos, climb a tree. If we see tigers, you don't run. See elephants, run.
Oh, really?
They have a, yeah.
You run from elephants?
You just say, yeah, there's nothing else you can do.
They say run?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
But they said, if we tell you to run, run. If we say climb a tree, climb a tree. So they take you into the park and try to find, you know, the wild rhinos who you can't get that close to.
This guy doesn't really like the birds on him, but he can't get them off.
So it was high adventure for sure. But it was, I think, with the national park fee, which I think is about 1,600, 4,500 rupees.
Okay. But yeah, beautiful area on the edge of the national park, Chitwan National Park. You know, not that different from, say, where I live back home in Tofino, in the sense that small town on the outskirts of a national park. Tourism's the main industry. One of the sad things is they do have these working elephants and they're walking through the streets and they look so sad. There's a few different organizations there trying to help them out, and one that I connected with was Stand Up for Elephants, and they've actually adopted an elephant who had really bad abscess on her feet, so they sort of rescued her and given her a place where she can heal properly. Yeah, really inspiring stuff that they're doing.
Hello, I'm Florian.
And I'm Michael. We're with the NGO Stand Up for Elephants. We're here in Nepal. Behind me is Eva Kali. She's our first rescue. Really, our main goal is to improve the lives of the captive elephants and their mahouts, their caretakers, if you will.
But yeah, my time in Sauraha, I was actually sick the whole time. Had a cough, a little bit of a cough, but more just so much mucus. I think from all the pollution down there. There's a lot of pollution in the air. but still a beautiful place. Very foggy and then sort of smoggy for all morning long pretty much. And yeah, I just sort of went for walks, and then my last day there I went for a jungle walk through the jungle, which was really cool, really beautiful, including a canoe ride for about 2 hours down this river. You're gonna be uncontrollably giggling the whole time. Saw crocs and deer and lots of different cool birds.
So actually we do have 3 types of tree, white and very soft wood, silk cotton and tuna ciliata and Mexico champaka. So Mexico champaka is found in some hill region, and tuna ciliata and silk cotton tree they find in Tharai lowlands also.
It's a lifetime.
And then we walked through the forest and saw tiger prints, elephant prints, and rhino prints, and just really interesting different forests. The Saul forest. Yeah, it was a great walk, great time. Quite expensive for a national park in Nepal. Like the entrance fee, just the entrance fee is 2,000 Nepali, which is like $25 Canadian or something like that. Which doesn't seem that much as I say it now, but it's actually very steep for in Nepal. Like I could survive on that. I could get 5 nights stay with food for that much money. So pricey, a bit too much. And I actually probably wouldn't do that again if I had the option, because there's other forests you can walk around by yourself, not have to be stuck to a guide or the people who you're with. Nonetheless, though, it was pretty awesome experience.